There you go. Evening all. Welcome to our episode 12 with our Champions edition. All the captains tonight. We'll have the first half of the show. We'll have Sohail and Wasim from Snook, the champions of the championship. And obviously, I've got my beautiful co-host there, Bruno. Welcome, James. Welcome.
How's it?
Yeah. Wasim, your second time on the show. Making a habit, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully, the second of many. Not the first.
Nice.
And the man I struggles to say his surname when he makes team of the week is Tajudeen, but I get it right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool, man. Cool. Firstly, well done on winning the championship. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that. Looking at the stats, we'll talk about that now. But tell me, let's go to Sohail first. How does it feel to be champions of the VPG inaugural championship league?
It feels great because this is like a few months we have been as a team, like probably 3 months as a team, and we've just gelled and we performed excellently in the VPG.
100%. Wasim, in your take, good to be champion.
Look, it's an awesome feeling because when we started, obviously, both our leagues, SAPL and the VPG, it was the first time that all the guys were playing in a league, more something more serious. And we usually know the guys playing divisions, So coming in to have come in your first season, in an actual league and have won it, I don't think many teams can say they've done that. Obviously, you've got the Ballers, you've got Crusaders, you've got all these big teams, but it feels good to have done that in our first season.
100%, like only onwards and upwards, eh? And looking at the log itself, you played 30. I mean, and like Sohail just said, it's a long period. I mean, it's play 3 games on a Wednesday. It's dragged out, so it's actually nice to get a sort of a prize at the end of that to say, hey, we were champions. We put our time in. We number 1 team, and you played 30 games, won 20, drawn 6, and only lost 4. That's pretty impressive, huh? That's
very impressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, 4 losses. Who can you remember? Let me tell you something. Who you lose to there? You know that. Come tell me. I
think one was Young Stars.
Yep.
I think 1, 2, 3 shooting. I think that the first game week we lost 2 in that first game week.
Stoke City also was one.
Stoke City. Yeah.
I think.
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't the second game we played them that we lost to them?
Yeah, second game.
Yeah.
So Wasim, quickly before we move on, I wanted to ask you. So at what point when you join Premier League, right? And let's just say the results don't go your way. At what point are you looking at reconstructing the team? Are you like, you know what, we won the championship. This is the team I'm trusting. We're going to take it further from here. I'm not looking at new players. I want to see as far as we can go with this particular team. At what point do you think that could change?
Yeah, it's funny you'd say that because overall looking at the team structure, and Taj is actually laughing there. There's already been some changes, and like obviously from my side, I've left the club to join Unleashed in SAPL, so that's a change that not everyone's not happy with. But obviously for me, it's a step up, to go and play with. I've got a few mates there and that as well. Some of my teammates from, professional FIFA as well. They there, so it's a bit of a step up for me. But in terms of what the team is looking at to do in VPG, I think that with any team, when you go into a new league or into a higher division, you do have to make signings because you have to keep up with your competition. So from our side, I can definitely say that the guys that did get us to the point where we are now, or we did receive the promotion, they will be part of the squad. But also, we're going to be looking to make some additions to the squad so we can keep up with the competition.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair enough. And Sohail, if someone was to approach you, are you keen to leave and try and be more comfortable, or do you want to give it a shot with your current team?
No, I'm going to stay with the current team. I think I prefer playing with my friends and just enjoying it with them.
That's fair. That's the all-round rule.
Yeah. So Wasim's not part of that group anymore. Their friends group.
I'm still there for now.
For now, he's here for VPG. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the thing. Like example, we have Shiloh that was on the show, the goalkeeper that was on the show, and we're good mates with him. And then this is why he came on to play. But I mean, Them ballers. One team, he's going to ballers. We're still mates. But these things happen. I mean, playing for Unleashed is more extreme. You learn a lot more. Doesn't mean you won't come back or create another team and play with your mates again. But you do learn a lot more with those guys.
Yeah,
Let's
you
be
do.
So you got an agent out there, Sohail. You got an agent out there now. So you never, okay. So with the season finished now, what would be the highlight and the low light of your season? So what was the game that stood out for you, Wazim? What was the game that said, okay, this is it. We can actually do this. We can go win this.
So for me, right, in terms of highlight of the season, I think that having played that, like Sohail mentioned, in that first week, we didn't expect that we were going to, be in the position that we are a few weeks later. And I think it was on the last day, we knew that we needed 5 points to guarantee the title. We won that first game, and then going into the second game, we had like a lot of pressure on us because we wanted to wrap it up before we went into the last game. Yeah, 100%. And, we told the guys, listen here, just, keep your focus, keep your head in there. And I remember as we went into the game, like the communication was all over, like, guy gets the ball, communicating, talking to each other. And I think the minute we scored, for me, that was like probably the highlight of the season, because that just, it like hits you in that moment that, you've literally joined a league with friends, nothing more than friends. You don't have guys from, your ballers, your Crusaders, your Unleashed, these top class players from these clubs. It's basically just friends. And it just hit us then that, we've come with friends into a league and we've done it. So that's, final day of the season, I don't think it gets any better than that.
Title.
So
And what was your low light though? So what was your low light playing the league? Was it you leaving for Unleashed?
Okay, I expected to take a couple of shots coming in about that, but look, I think the low light of the season, right? It's a pretty funny story, and Tad is gonna be laughing as well, because we obviously it came to a point where we were now dominating the league, right? We were winning our games. We were doing quite well. I think we were first or second at that point, and nothing to the current Slice captain, because I think it's a different person. But at the time we were versing Slice, right? And I remember we went into the game and someone got DC'd. So we told the guys, like, start quitting. So they start quitting, and they happened to score, I think, around the 7th or 8th minute when we had quit. So we went off, and Taj explained to the captain, he tells the guys, like, look, we did lag out, but no problem, you keep the goal. So the guy's like, okay, no problem. We went back into the game, we beat them 5-2, and all of a sudden after that, it became an issue that we quit. And for me, the entire league was going so smoothly, and it reached a point now where I was so baffled by the guy saying that we quit at the 15th minute, and he has proof. And I decided to mention it now on the podcast because hopefully he's watching and sees how idiotic he was doing that. And it's like, it's baffling because he knew he was going to get caught in the end, because he says he sent proof to the admin, But look, that was funny for me. It's the only sort of low point I can find in the season, because other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
That's good to hear.
We get a lot. You get a lot of that, and you mentioned that the guys are cool when things are going well, but when things go badly, they become uncool very quickly.
Yeah,
it's a good message to send out to the guys. It's just a game at the end of the day. We played. I think it was, who was that last game? I think it was Chapper or someone, and we lagged out twice on the same thing, and they went 1-0 up, and then I said, okay, we actually got the games mixed up. We're supposed to play Zamalek, because we got the fixtures wrong. I think Zamalek were very cool about it as well, and Chapel were very cool about it. And I was like, we were going to pull our team out. And I said, okay, we'll play you guys again. We'll give you a 1-0 start, and we'll play again. And the guys were very cool about it. And Zamalek said, no, don't worry about it, play. You guys have got to be cool about it. At the end of the day, it's still a game. It's more than just playing a video game. But that was in that talk you mentioned about that nervousness before you play that game. You need that 6 points. It's real, eh?
Yeah.
It was hectic. Like the second last week, we had like 3 of the top 4 teams to play, and it was very nerve-wracking playing those teams. But at the end, we came through it.
Yeah, it's
So
real. Like
definitely up.
you explain it to people, you play. Okay, it's a virtual game and it's FIFA and it's soccer. People look at you, you're mad. Go play it. And the nerves are real. It's like the
Yeah.
emotions are there, and that's what we love about it. I mean, Bruno, for one instance, we put him on mute every now and then because the emotions get too much.
That is not the truth. But so what I wanted to get back to was when Wasim was really talking about the guys and how they react to. So that had happened to us once on a Saturday Night Lights game, where we had agreed to play and we had then lost. So it didn't work in our favor. But I think, as much as the guy who creates the team is automatically then the captain, I think maybe the team collectively should choose a captain, like in real life, the most level-headed, mature person to understand that, look, ultimately, this is a game. If you're going to agree on a certain set of rules, like, don't be sour about it afterwards or whatever. It really does poison the game, guys. We just want to enjoy it. And like you said, it's become your low light for an unnecessary cause. If you guys beat them justly, then they should just accept that.
Yeah, 100%.
Just a small quick note on that. I think the thing is, it's not to say that it's like it was a low light and it's sort of a fight, but it's sort of quite humorous to see that after a game, when you realize that you've lost, that's when you want to start coming and bring in issues. But like I said, it's probably the only point that I find like funny or was sort of like confusing for me in the entire season.
Yeah, sport brings out the best and the worst in people.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
bring out the worst, and this is a sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, on that note, Sahel, what was your highlight and low light for the VPG this season? Obviously, you guys are champions, but what would you say you enjoyed the most and the least?
I think my highlight was the second last week, that when we got over the line, beating those three teams and getting the result. I think that was the highlight that sunk in that we're going to become league champions. And then I think the low light will be the exact same as Wasim. The same game
a little thing like that. Little thing like that just leaves a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. You remember it for a long time.
Yeah.
It just shows you, the guys must be lekker about it. So how would you describe how the league was run and any recommendations on how to better the league? Wasim will go. You've probably got a lot to say.
Yeah. As always, I have a lot to say. Look, personally, from my side, first of all, I think the Discord obviously is an awesome platform to have been chosen to run the different groups and sections, for information wise. I think in terms of the fixtures, it was sort of nicely spread where we started about 9:30 or so. So, we wouldn't be playing too late. And I think 3 games was obviously right. So I think in terms of the way the league was run in that, I think for taking into consideration as well that it was the first time that VPG was being done in South Africa, it was quite awesome. In terms of what I would change also, and perhaps that may be due to a lack of admins, maybe there should be more admins on board. But what I do feel was that sometimes we found ourselves submitting scores, and we found this with us and other teams as well, where there was a dispute, and often the dispute would take 4 or 5 days before the score is actually updated. And it happened once where we were frustrated, and we were actually angry because it got to a point where the league was getting so close and we needed to know what was happening with our game. So I feel like that's an area that the league could improve on, in solving disputes in that max 1 to 2 days, not stretching them out so long, because it becomes a sort of tactical play in the league as well. But other than that, honestly, it's been an awesome, well-run league. I think especially one thing that been really interesting for the players is the podcast, because you come on to here, even though you ask questions and we're following a protocol, guys are allowed to speak freely. So you're allowed to say what you want. You don't have to hold back anything. You don't have to cut anything out. So it's pretty awesome to know that what you say is being heard, and also that everybody here has an opinion.
100%. That's when we started this out. The Shermie and the guys in the background, they said, let's do a live podcast. I said, we get the players' feedback live. Like if I ask a question like that, be honest, because we can better ourselves and we're genuine about it. You know what I mean? Like the dispute, having 4 days, that is a bit too long. We'll better that. This is the first thing for us too. And that's exactly why we have these things. And so, Hill, any recommendations you would say for the VPG first season league?
I think it was run quite well. Just maybe the point system, like you did discuss in previous podcasts, that needs to be sorted out. But other than that, I think it was very well run.
100%. Yeah, and we spoke about that, Bruno, about the CDM gets more points than the winger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bruno was
Yeah, look,
asking talking about that.
That's a
when it becomes competitive, it's serious. It's something people want to be with stats. They want to be the best. They want to be the best in their position. They want to be able to show proof. And I think when things are jippoed or the systems don't reflect how they truly play, it becomes frustrating as a player. You know, you are technically the best and you feel you're the best, but it's not showing on the board, and that becomes frustrating. You know, so I can completely concur and understand. I will, however, say that, you know, I do think that the SAPL and the VPG having competition is really good. I think it betters the play for each individual and also allows for freedom to play with the likes of someone who is more professionally inclined for one particular league and more friendship inclined for another league. I think, you know, at the end of the day, we're all just trying to grow this platform and enjoy each other. Like Wasim was speaking about the podcast, I think it's so cool to put a face to the guy that keeps on making me crazy in drop-ins, you know, and now I know who to hate, you know. So I think it's definitely pulled in the right direction. I will also say this, Daz, and I'm sure you can back me up on this. There is so much maturity amongst the lads, you know, especially being on the live podcast and speaking about things. People handle situations so maturely, and I think I'm really encouraged by that. A lot of the times you get babies who just want to complain and so on and so forth, but a lot of the guys just take a step back and look at what it is and answer from a mature background. And I'm encouraged to see that this is our first season. We can only get better from here.
You know, on that note, like about the maturity and stuff that we do see with the lads, I think it's an overall sort of picture of the FIFA community in South Africa, that even though you may hear the odd story of arguing and of perhaps swearing and fighting and stuff, it's all in the competition, you know, where you get hyped up. But overall, like you said, the maturity, I think, reflects how the South African community can be when they do come together. And it just reflects that, you know, how we are together, sort of we support each other. And when we need to run in a system, you know, to make everything function well, the guys do come together for that.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, Shem, you want to get that log up for the championship? I don't know if you want to get that log up, the final log there, so we can have a look at that. Yeah, let's have a look and get that.
So while we're waiting for the log there, guys, so I know that when you guys are busy competing in the championship, you know, obviously in terms of prizes and so on, your prize would be moving into the premiership. And I wanted to explain that. So a lot of guys would say, you know, look, it seems a bit unfair, we have won or whatever. But if you look at it from this perspective, whoever has become fourth or fifth in the premiership has the right to now complain, why does first and second in championship get a prize, but they don't? Technically, they are a division. So look, I do want to encourage the guys. We are looking at sponsorships and so on, but I do want to encourage the guys, like, you want to be the best to be the best. It's not always about the money. Sometimes it's just about saying, like, my team is the best, thorough. And I think that was what was nice and mature about Ballers. They've maintained that throughout the SAPL, where they haven't introduced money or incentives and so on. So whoever is playing championship, don't be discouraged by that, guys. Like, push for the premiership. It is a worthy incentive because you can ultimately win it in your first season, like Snook did in the championship, you know.
100%. And like, if you look at the league now, you guys, like I said, you played 31-20 and lost 4 only. The thing is, who would you look at? You know, team knockout, Team KO, Battalion, yourselves again. Who would you say are the favorites for next season's championship? Now that you guys are going up, who would you give it to, Sahil? Who do you think the guys are going to win that league, or got the potential to be the top 3 at least?
I think maybe Young Stars. They have a good team.
Okay.
They did give us a few troubles. I think they're the one team that beat us as well. Yeah. Other than that, Stoke City also, they're a very good team.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they got promoted to the.
They did get promoted. Stoke City is promoted.
Oh, they got promoted.
Yeah.
They got promoted as well.
Snook Battalion, Team KO. Snook Battalion, 3 teams that. See, Bruno's trying to get a corruption gain here again.
Sorry.
By the way, the premiership here, Bruno. Come on, man. So Snook, Battalion, and Team KO are the 3 promoted. The 4th team, there we go. Have a look at the log there. 4, 5, and 6. That's basically what you're saying, Sahil. Those you see there, 1, 2, 3 shooting, unlucky, FC
Yeah.
Youngsters, Stoke City. Would you
Yeah,
put your money on
they have-
winning that? You've got a better idea of winning it next year.
I think 1, 2, 3 shooting.
Okay.
They have some quality in their team. They have the top cam, I think, in the championship, and I think top striker as well.
The Jordan Leaf boy, I think it is. Huh?
Yeah, the John Leaf. Yeah.
100%. And you, Wazim, what do you think?
Look, I disagree slightly with Taj. I think Jordan Leafy obviously brings that attacking but and defending against him was, yeah, it was a bit, I wouldn't say intimidating because, no task is too intimidating for us. I'll be honest, after we started playing, we gained the confidence to trust our centre back and right back and whoever we're playing next to. So, but for any defender, I think whenever you come up against a striker who knows how to skill, who's not just moving the right analog, it sort of starts becoming a bit intimidating. Like with Jordan, you could see the way he skilled and the way he played. He knew what he was doing. He's not just spamming the skill moves. Like you'd get elasticos, you get croquetas, you get different skill moves, and the guy uses it well. So going into next season, I do think he's probably going to be the top scorer. But for me, I think that it's probably going to be unlucky. I'm tipping unlucky to win the championship because they had a similar story to us. So it was a bunch of friends that used to play divisions. First time entering a league into a team, and they did pretty well. So I think next season probably unlucky.
Soil, is there anyone that you're looking for in the championship to bring aboard? Someone that you might just handpick?
Don't have any names at hand, but yeah, we are looking to bolster the squad. We're looking for centre backs and maybe a right wing at the moment.
And then Dazza, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to have to start negotiating value, correct, in terms of coins. So after the first league, this now becomes exciting. So Suhail, who's been with Snoop making the stuff happen, all of a sudden is going to be worth less than someone that they think is going to be worth more, and it creates a dispute. How would you handle that, Wasim?
I think it's all about understanding, right? So most teams that I would assume run on the basis that if you want to leave and if you're unhappy with us, you're more than welcome to leave. Because there's no point in keeping, Bruno or Deza if you guys are unhappy at the club. So if that logic stays with teams, right, then I think you are going to see a few guys move on. But obviously, I think that fee, I think the fee that will be negotiated will come into play would be quite interesting because, like I said, the South African community is not here to make things difficult for each other. So for the guys that are obviously watching and Snook comes after your players, just give us a fair price. Right? We don't have a lot of coins to spend.
Fair price, yeah, that's Sahil. So when Wazim leaves, eventually you can make your price, my man.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can get a bit of a more coins in there, so you can spend it on someone else that you want. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Like Wazim's right. The way we do it, but still, you can still add a bit of extra. So if you need extra coins to get someone else, that's what it's about. I mean, I know we got from ballers. I mean, paid half a chicken in a Nando's leg for that guy. But Andy was happy to let him go. It's going to be a funny aspect of it now because now it actually kicks in.
Yeah.
The first season, you all sign up and do the coins. Doesn't really happen because no one's really moving. There's a lot of free agents. Guys want to leave. It's going to be very entertaining. Tell me, before we get going, we've got 6 more minutes of the show before we get the other buggers on. What do you think this provincial teams, and what do you think about the championship team versus the Premier League team playing on a Sunday night? That was pretty cool. Yes. So, yeah, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. You matching your skills against the guys in the bigger leagues. You can see how you compare to them. It gives you a good indication of how you're playing.
So last week was very tight. Daz and I both commentated on the games, and the championship team, they were on it, and I love how competitive it is because there's no vast difference between the two, and I think that's very encouraging, especially for you guys that's just about to enter the new league. What do you think, Wasim? Have you heard the commentating on the game? What do you think of that? Is that something that you would enjoy listening to?
Look, personally, right. If you look at the history of or recently now in South Africa with in terms of maybe single player, like I'll just talk a bit about the offline event, they've introduced casters into the game. And I remember casting Rush, I think it was last year. We casted like a few of the games there and the knockout day and stuff. And if you look at the commentary that was done for, you know, the Championship First Premier, and you look at different commentary for FIFA, I think it's a lot more interesting and it's a lot more engaging to have physical people, you know, not your Martin Tyler every single game, because when guys have guys like, for example, a Deza or a Taj or myself or whoever, Bruno, commentating the game, these guys can relate to the players. You know, you understand each player, you understand the style that each player plays. So when you're commentating, you're not using the same lines over and over again, you know. So in terms of commentating the games, I think perhaps this is something that should also be looked at for Champions League games and perhaps VPG tournaments and stuff like that, because I think to watch a stream with commentary from people that you know is a lot more interesting.
Cool.
Yeah,
Good
it's
feedback.
another
Thank
aspect of this, which is pretty cool. Like Bruno tries to use the same lines all the time. You get him out of that to be more natural.
It's hard, you know.
Yeah.
The game speed is so difficult because, you know, you get, when Messi just walks on the ball, you get that breather. But because it's like 6 minutes or half, you just got to be talking the one. And I never get a chance, as it is with Deza. And now I got to just shove a few comments in there. So it's tough, guys. But yeah, I think you guys are deserving. On a real note, I think you guys are deserving of the league. Quality players, like, as I can see, Wasim's been on the show before, very mature. I do think you guys are going to be proper contenders. If I look at the likes of Zamalek, who came out of nowhere in the VPG and have contended with big boys, you know, I do see you as one of those guys.
Yeah, it can happen. So what would be the ideal? Okay, this is not for Wasim. Wasim's moved on. So Sahel, what would be the ideal end spot for you guys next year? What, like in the log, what number would you like to be?
I would say in the top 10.
Okay.
In the top 10, just to be safe. I think that'll be a fair result.
Okay. You aiming for the top 10.
Yeah, in top 10. Yeah.
I tell you what, and it's not going to be easy. We know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of quality sides in there.
You look at the top 10 now at the moment, it's Ballers, Unleashed, Techers, Untouchables, Crusaders, Zamalek, Van Boos, Sabres, and then Misfits. Those are 10 top teams.
Quality teams, yeah.
Quality teams. Top 10 is a good aim for a team that's just come up. And why not? Go for it, my man. Go for it. Wasim, are you moving on to Unleashed, you say?
No, that's in
look, that's in Sapper. We haven't yet discussed what's happening with VPG, but I know because I'm going to be seeing Moby next week, so I'm sure that conversation is going to come up about what's happening with VPG as well. But look, in terms of Snook, I think the quality is there for the club to finish in the top 10. And I know a new club going from any division, your goal is obviously to avoid relegation. And I think obviously that's what the club would start off by aiming, is to avoid relegation. But as the league moves on and we progress into the the latter stages of the Premiership, I think that you're going to see a lot of quality come out from the gents as well, because the league is starting obviously, and it's a new FIFA. So with a new FIFA now coming, there's new energy, there's new excitement, there's all this build up that goes around it. And having built that platform of having silverware in your first season, I think that you'll be able to attract a lot of potential signings. And I say that with a smiling face. Like I know, guys, don't eat me up in the comments. But obviously, to sign people now for the team going into the Premiership is going to be a lot easier, because guys know the quality you bring to the table, and hopefully we can attract the quality as well.
No, so sorry, Wasim. So the only reason why I was laughing is because that's such a valid excuse now to the wife or the missus. You know, it's like, listen, yeah, I got silverware. Like, I need to play this game. I'm quality. You know what I mean? It's I'm just thinking of excuses to let me play some more. You know?
Yeah.
It's good to have you in the show, guys. Obviously, we'll see you guys in the next VPG. Like I said, FIFA 21. That'll be entertaining, and it'll. We'll see the dynamics of the game. That's going to change a lot of things. It's a good point you brought up, Wasim. We'll chat to the guys a bit more about that, you know. But I'm sure we'll be crossing paths there with Sahel and the Snook boys. And
Hopefully.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
before the guys
Hopefully.
go, is there anything that you guys want to say to your players or guys that you had played against? Just a couple of words. You guys are the champions. Well done for that. Is there anything that you'd like to leave, like a what's this thing? A shout out or a recommendation? Is there anything you keen on
he
saying?
thinks this is KFM. He
So-
thinks this is KFM.
so,
I'm just thinking. So not
so-
not everyone gets to be on the podcast, and obviously the captains appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
Only-
So look, from my side, like a quick word. I think a massive shout out to the entire team. You know, they paired with us through the shouting and through the swearing as well. Because at the end of the day, it was done out of love and not nothing out of malice. You know, because we knew that our team was capable of more and capable of better at the end of the day. And obviously to all the opponents as well. Fantastic efforts from everyone. I think that if you had a disappointing season, just don't just give up. Try and take it forward into next season. And yeah, I mean, to you guys as well. Thank you guys for hosting such an awesome league and to bring to the table as well the podcast. It's made the whole league a lot more enjoyable.
Cool. Thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to the second part of the show. We got the winners of the Premier League, Cape Town Ballers, Justin and Adi. Welcome, gents. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Cool, man.
Champions.
Champions. We just finished talking to the champions of the championship, Snook, and then they had their thoughts on how the league went and that type of thing. Quite excited to play in the Premier League. You guys, was a tough running towards last week, Adi?
It's always tough, bro. I mean, there was a chance where we could have secured the league way back when we slipped up against Bamboos. And I'm sure Justin will remember that. But no, just a shout out to the lads for keeping their heads up with all the banter that was going on, and
Yeah.
we did very well.
Justin, you guys obviously serial league winners, but how does it feel to win the first VPG inaugural league, Premier League?
Well, obviously after a tough season in the SAPL, I think it was non-negotiable that Ballers had to go and win the VPG. So I'm glad we managed to secure that title. But yeah, it's been a tough season. It's been a long, grueling season. 20 teams in the league, so it's been a long struggle. But I'm really pleased that in the end we managed to pull through. We had to get a couple of new signings along the way. But I think in the end it all worked out well, and yeah, really happy with the way it ended.
I see that. I see you mentioned new signings. That was one of my questions. I see you guys have been quite active, eh? I saw your Twitter account mentioning how many guys you signed so far? You guys. How many new guys?
2 or 3?
Yeah.
80.
So Deza, this I know under the hush. I don't know much about it, but I do know that it's gonna be massive. Apparently, I hear the boys are changing the game apparently with these signings. So I think it's very exciting.
Yeah, I saw that. Twitter account about 3-4 guys, Eddie. Hey, what have you strengthened, man? What positions are you looking at? Are you strengthened already?
We mainly looked at strengthening up the defense. Another problem was just rotation availability. So we just wanted to make sure that when players are unavailable, we do have those quality players to fill in, so that we don't lose out on points where, like I said, when players are unavailable.
Yeah, 100%. And like Justin mentioned that earlier in the previous show that he was on, you guys work night shift, not everybody gets to play. Are you that was the main thing behind it? Now you can call in a lot more guys. How many guys have you actually signed for? What's a good number of a squad? 15, 16? How many guys, 80?
I'll say 14, 15. Also for rotation purposes, if anyone's unavailable, and also to make sure everyone does get fair amount of game time, which is important.
Cool. So that's a safe number. Eh?
Yeah.
And then obviously 2 goalkeepers.
We have one main keeper, and then we also have my brother Jay, who can, if anyone knows, he can play keeper, centre back, winger, striker. So he's more than happy to fill in where need be.
Yeah, good. Okay, what would say, Eddie, Justin, tell us, what would be the highlights and sort of, if there is a low light of the season for VPG for you?
Well, for me, the low light would probably be the beginning of the season when we tried to qualify for the Champions League. Unfortunately, we fell short there. I think we were mixing and matching a few with formations, trying to sign a few players. Maybe got a few in a little bit too late before the season started. So I'd say the low light would certainly be not being able to qualify for the Champions League. Would have loved to represent the country there, but unfortunately, it wasn't to be. And luckily, Unleashed did a brilliant job and went all the way through to the final. And we hope to do something similar next season.
That's right. You guys qualify as yourself and Unleashed. They qualify for the next season's Champions League. FIFA 21. Wazim from Snook made a good point there. FIFA 21. It's the dynamics and the changes in play. You expect a big difference. What's going on there? You reckon?
That's something we need to we'll make that plan when FIFA 21 comes out. We don't know what formation will work. As I was speaking to Justin earlier, 4-1-2-1-2 narrow has always been our formation to go to, where over the past, I would say 4 or 5 years. And all of a sudden this FIFA, it didn't work at all. We weren't good at going up top. We were conceding goals. So we were forced to change formation, which also led us to struggle a bit this season in certain games. But I think next season, based on the gameplay dynamics, as you said, we'll have to make that call then.
100%. It's such valuable information these guys are getting. Those who are watching the show, take note of these things. But it's true. You think you just hop on and play, and then you only realize that when the league season started, 6 games later, damn, it doesn't work. How long does it take you to find out that type of stuff, Justin? Do you play friendlies 3 weeks before or 2 weeks before? How many games do you play to sort that out?
I think to properly gauge information, you need a good 4 or 5 games. Because obviously you need to test it out against different style of opposition. Each team is different the way they play. So as Eddie mentioned, was the 4-1-2-1-2 we tried previously, and it was brilliant for the past 3 or 4 years. But on this FIFA, it doesn't work at all for us. Maybe it does for other teams, but for the players we have, it didn't work out. And then we ended up going to the 4-2-2-2. Went pretty well. And more recently, we actually tried the 3-5-2 with 3 at the back. As you see, you mentioned the signings, we actually got quite a few new defenders in Abu, Oshard, and a few other gents that were coming through there. So let's see the gameplay in FIFA 21. We have no idea what to expect. But I think going forward, you're likely to use either the 4-2-2-2 or the 3-5-2 at ballers.
So Eddie, I want to direct this question to you just before we go any further. So FIFA 21 is coming, but it's leveling out the playing field correctly. So as much as a guy is talented, he also needs an avatar that's got his attributes. So are you going to be pressing the guys to be like, listen, you need to be in drop-ins and divs the whole time. We need you at an 88 ASAP. We play in league soon. Or are you just going to let the guys play and you trust the knowledge of the game?
No, I trust them 100%. Whatever they do to their pro suits their strengths, and what they've done so far has benefited at ballers in general. So they must just do whatever they feel most comfortable. Because like I said, Justin and I can speak with Justy's behalf. I'm sure we both trust them to make the best call for their pro to benefit ballers as much as they can.
Yeah, most certainly.
Sorry, go, Bruder.
So I'm kind of I picture you guys being ecstatic with all the banter that's going around. You guys seem very calm. Like someone wants to say something, but you want to be politically correct. So we'll get to that a bit later where we ease up about the professionalism of the interview. But yeah, guys, well deserved from the very beginning. As much as you've had haters and supporters from myself, you guys are serial winners. But also what I really like about you guys is you maintain a professionalism, and no one can doubt that. So I want to encourage you guys. It's really nice to have a couple of guys that's on board that as much as you're winning, you're also humble about it. And just encourage guys to want to be the best, because you guys are. And that's not me looking for a transfer. That's just me being genuine. And yeah, congratulations, guys. You really do deserve it. Hopefully next season we pull up some upsets. I know that there's a drop in Kings. I wish it was the last game of the season. We had them on the ropes. We had them.
We got a draw.
Yeah, we
I
got
know.
I said 80 straight away after the match. That's the best result I've had against Ballers in 6 seasons. The 0-0 draw, baby. I'll take it.
Well, speaking of signings, we saw how good Luna was in that match. I mean, he was brilliant. So that's another one who's joined Ballers, and very lucky to have him there as well.
Yeah, no, he was motivated. Of course, let me show these guys why they're. So it's always been. He loved it, which is great, So I'll put this question to the guys in the previous. First half of the show, I'll put it to 80 first. How would you describe the league it was run, and any suggestions to better it? 80.
I'm starting off the league. I mean, it went off without a hitch. It was, everyone replying in groups, people playing all their games. I think towards the last 2-3 weeks, people kind of realized that they weren't, I don't know, playing well. So they kind of got demotivated. People started dropping out. People started quitting at halftime. I know that was something that was previously brought up, and it kind of ruined it for us because our last few games were forfeits. I mean, I see a lot of 3-0s. I see a lot of teams pulling out and giving 3 points away to teams who could have made top 3 or maybe even like the bottom relegation zone or something. I don't know, but that kind of put a damper on it. But overall, I think it was an amazing season. I really enjoyed it.
100%. Justin, your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the league was so well run. I'm not sure where you could possibly try and improve it. I think it was smooth. There was every Wednesday there were 3 matches besides the last week, which was discussed in advance. So I'm not sure how you guys can go about improving it. I think it was very well run. There's nice rewards at the end if you do well. There's team of the week. There's podcasts. I really don't see much room for improvement. I think it's been brilliant. Off the top of my head, I don't really think of anything that stands out that's been missing this season. I think it's been good.
But like Eddie said, the guys, when you start having a bad run, the guys do pull out and stuff like that. It's tough, and they shouldn't. We've all. But
that's out of your control. That's out of your control, really. I mean, I'm not sure what you can do about it besides implement bans. But we want to have teams involved. We want to have the best players, and so
100%. Like you said, the guys will just push through, man. I mean, we played. We played our last game against, I think, the same Chapper. They had 3 guys. I mean, they know the rules.
They actually almost gave us a run for our money.
Yeah.
But they had 3 guys. I take my hat off to those guys, and I sent to the guy, thanks very much for playing. You know what I mean? It's like, it means a lot for the league, and it's not just taking a 3-0 and you're not playing, because it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. So hats off to those guys, all those guys that have a bad run.
You gotta have respect for those guys. You gotta have respect for those guys. People who only can get 4 or 5 players together, and they still keep to their games and whatnot. So massive respect to them.
So Darren, just before we go on, so guys, I know that you have so kindly donated the prize winnings to both Darren and I. You guys are such special people. No, I'm joking. On a serious note, I know that there was some talk about investing back into the brand of Ballers, or giving individuals their, I would guess, their cut or whatever they meant. How would you manage the prize winnings? Like, do you give individual? What if someone wants to leave? Does he take his money? Or what is it that you guys plan on doing? It is a lump sum for, I mean, let's face it, playing games that we enjoy. If we could all get paid to play games, we'd be living the life. So have you guys come up with a sort of scheme, a structure? Adi, you got anything on that?
I mean, we have an account with all the Ballers prize winning as has been going for the season. So we're just gonna split it evenly towards all the people, irrespective if they do leave or not. They'll still get a fair share. What they want to do with it is up to them. I did advise if they maybe want to put that towards the new FIFA. So I mean, it's completely in their court, but everything's going to be completely split.
That's pretty cool. So the rumor not true whether you're going to buy a PlayStation 5 and everybody's going to watch Justin play it.
That's not true at all. I still believe that I can be stiff competition for Justin. I just choose to play CDM to give everyone a chance. I don't know if you guys have picked that up.
Most certainly.
We can have a look at the final table here, so we can have a look at that. Shimmy, you can get that up for us along, and so we can have a look at exactly your achievements here on the log. It's pretty impressive, huh? Let's have a look. There we go. It's up. Played 38, 130, drawn 5, and lost 3. 93 goal difference. Goal difference is crazy. I mean, you won the league on goal difference alone. That's fantastic. I mean, you guys both had hand in the goals. I mean, assists and goals. I mean, I don't know what to say. That's great to watch. I mean, who do you think next year will be your biggest competition? Is it the usual suspects? Looking at that league now. And who was the surprise for you in the top 5? Who was the surprise for you guys? Justin?
I'd say next season we're looking at, I think, the same teams again. I think we're looking at Crusaders, we're looking at Unleashed, and hopefully we see some teams like Artemis and maybe New Era joining the league as well. 2 massive teams who didn't participate this season. For me, the surprise package would probably be CPT Techers, I'd say, a team who I haven't heard much about before the league started. But they certainly gave us a big run when they played against us. And I think they finished, 3rd, 4th in the league? Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah. Really impressive.
I mean, they've only lost 3, yeah? You look at that shoot. That's impressive. That's the only other team that matches you for 3 losses. Everyone else has lost more than that. So
very impressive.
Very impressive. How many draws they get? I can't really see on my screen. It's kind of small.
Kind of small. All you need to know is who you're on top.
That's all you need to see.
All you need to know. It's all you need to know. So and the finish off the top, Zamling in at 6 and Crusaders are 5th. And Van Boos also came, which is quite impressive. We're going to look at, you got the table up there, final table. Just go to the team of the week. If we look at the team of the week there, Shimmy. The final team of the week. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, I saw that's Sajinho. I think I saw he made the...
Yeah.
He had a good week.
Yeah, he did have a good from La Forienza, am I right? Yeah, then you got on the left is Tickers, Enzo Bento. The cam is Kalen from Crusaders. Bilal from Sabres on the right. Mornay Roman from Crusaders. Aldiem and Odium is Basil. Antonio from Tickers. Reese again there on the left back. Green Gray. Zamalek, centre back. Ziad Ganchi, that's one of your boys. They're ballers. And then Dylan Leng. The left and right backs have been there consistently. There's Dylan.
Consistently. You guys are both in the banter group, and for the amount of nonsense Ziad speaks, he really backs it up. He's constantly in this group.
Very consistent, yeah.
That's for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously your goalkeeper, Presh, Bernick. He's the goalkeeper, and on the bench is Mubin, Rawut, so then Wade, Cupido, Yusuf, Makada, and Mohammed Musa from Zamalek. And Miramidons is Wade, and Sophia Day, Mubin. Nice team there, guys. What do you think about that team? Last team of the first season.
Very strong team. That defensive line alone, I mean, that would prevent any team from scoring, really. I mean, Mornay, I've seen him in the team of the week many weeks already. Kalen as well, you know what kind of a threat he can cause going up top. So very good team, that.
What do you guys think of the championship team that's coming up? Have you spoke some players out? Have you seen them play a bit? Do you think they're going to compete next season, Justin?
Definitely, they're going to compete. I mean, you can see they educated gents, the way they speak, they're very mature, as you mentioned in the podcast before we came on. So yeah, smart gents. You can see why they're doing so well in the FIFA, and I expect big things from them next season. I reckon at least top 7 or 8 finish, if not better.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, like one of their players in the games Unleashed, Seppel. So, I mean,
that doesn't surprise me.
That says a lot already. So let's have a look at who's going to spin that wheel there for us, Shimmy. Let's see who's going to win that. Mornay Roman for me.
Reese.
Reese.
I'm going with Ziad. I believe this guy. Everything that he says is truth, man.
I'll go for our keeper, Yudi. Priyash.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Put on the big screen there. Let's see who's got. I've got. Roman's gonna win it, man. I mean, that's what's so fun. While the wheel spins, we'll talk about.
Takes forever to spin.
Yeah.
Oh, Ziggy again.
Yeah, there we go. I told you, boy. Ziggy, we're splitting this thing. We're splitting it, man.
Ballers night through and through. There we go. Well done. Scott,
Well done, Ziggy.
Well deserved that.
Ziggy, yeah.
Definitely.
Well done. Put your head up in the Discord channel there and on the server to say you're watching the show and that type of thing, and Mubin will get hold of you. But while we are talking about that, this Premier League team and championship matches, you guys have been taking part of that. What do you think about last week's game? It was quite tight, huh, 80?
Very tight, yeah. I mean, for me, the commentary made it. I digged it. I just like the little banter here and there, the little jokes, and yeah, it's like the previous Jen said in the other stream, the stream before this. When you know the people who are actually doing the streams and doing the commentating, it just takes to the next level.
100%. Justin, your take on that?
Yeah, I mean the championship were brilliant. I think in the last 2 weeks they got 2 draws. They went to penalties on 2 occasions. So the difference between championship and Prem is not that big at the moment. So that's why I said I think Snook are going to do quite well when they come to the Prem. So yeah, let's see what happens tonight. I think AD was supposed to be involved, but he's wanting to play a bit of Formula One by the sounds of it. So yeah, I think I might fill in then.
So yeah, guys, look, I know we're running a bit short on time. I do want to give you the I do want to get to the point where you guys can freely speak about your season. Thank the guys that you've worked with and so on. So Justin, do you want to go first? Let the players know how thankful you are for the assists of being top goal scorer and so on. Do you want to go through?
Yeah, no, been brilliant. I mean, even from goalkeeper to the back, we've had to rotate players all the time. I mentioned in my previous podcast that we have players who are unfortunately not available regularly. Smurf, Jay, we've spoken about it before. So the team is constantly rotating, and to be able to rotate the team but still maintain decent results is not easy. So big ups to the gents for managing to only have 3 losses in a 38 game season. That's incredible. So yeah, really impressed by that. And yeah, let's see what next season brings. I think we've got a couple of good additions coming in, and yeah, we'll see what happens from there.
And AD, I know it, dude. I know you got that itch, man. You want to say something. You know you want to say something.
I want to, but I'll bite my tongue. I just want to say to the guys, because of all the banter we had beginning of the season, kind of midway through the season, for everyone to keep their heads and just focus on the game.
Yeah.
I'll say it for you, AD. I'll say it for you. I've been saying it from day one.
Please do.
Ballers are going to win, you know, all the guys. That's why we laughed, and that's why you guys are such good sportsmen. We brought you on. You had a good laugh. You kept quiet. But Ballers showed everybody again that they're the top team to beat, the team to beat, and they're good sportsmen about it. And we got a long way still to beat these guys. So no matter what brand of football you play, fancy or knock them for boring football, it's winning football. We'll all give our left arm to play for the Ballers because they're a top team. So I said it there for you guys. I know you guys don't want to say, which is great, but
yeah,
you're all one team, and it's been like that since I've started playing. Like, it's great. Continue to do that.
I appreciate that.
I think that we proved the previous haters wrong about our stylish football. So I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
I love it. I love that quick passing. It's simple stuff. The simplicity of it is awesome. You know, and then you guys are walking.
But it's so contradictory. You saying with simplicity, and other people are saying we're just lumping it into the box. I mean, just it's a big contrast in people's opinions on FIFA. You know, I mean, you're mentioning the nice quick passing and all that, which we feel we do. And other people are saying we cross the ball into the box to little small 80 and small adjusty. It's not going to work. You know, we need to push the ball around.
Guys like 5-5.
Yeah, exactly.
Justin and Eddie, you got to understand something. So what obviously you guys are serial winners for a reason. You adapt during play, and no matter how you play, like Dazza said, no matter how you play, you guys win, and that's all that matters. And it frustrates the guys whether you play crappy football or tiki-taka, whatever the case is. Don't let them get under your skin. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you adapt to gameplay. If you're going with balls over, that's because the defense is compact, and you guys are wise enough to see that. So just look. It's encouraging words from my side. Technically, I hate to lose to you guys, but I love to watch you guys play. So don't let that guys like poison that stuff. But on that note, I think we got to do manager of the week quick.
Yeah, let's get manager. Let's not forget about manager of the week. Yeah. Roberto Cinnamon. Potatoes.
To rub it in.
We'll give you a prize. Say if you're watching the show, dual shock charger. This Mubin will get hold of you. But say you're watching the show. Yeah,
what a legend!
Oh, there we go. What a legend!
Love that guy.
Good, but that's what it's about. That's what it's about. We love and we hate you guys, all that stuff. But very simple. Yeah, next week we'll definitely have a show. Then obviously it's all the prizes and the glitz and the glamour and that type of stuff.
Yeah, so there's individual accolades, there's prizes and so on. So whoever's going to be on at home while you're collecting your award, make sure you're wearing a suit and tie. This is a professional event, guys. Come on, don't play around.
Okay, then tonight's game's 9:30. Am I correct, Shimmy?
Yeah. Unfortunately, none of you boys, you guys are not featuring, right? None of you boys are featuring, correct?
Team of the week. No, we are.
Are you guys featuring?
Yeah, 80 was the main striker, but he unfortunately has Formula One. I was on the bench, so I'll pull through for this evening.
So do you guys not just want to give any other person a chance at playing FIFA, guys? Like you take
They're more than
everything.
welcome to.
Okay, well, that's from my side, guys. I couldn't compliment you guys enough, so I really don't want to seem like a suck up or whatever the case is. I enjoy playing football with you boys. You guys are very mature. You make the sport enjoyable. Yeah, just keep up the good work, and you really are acquiring a higher standard of football because of the football that you guys have given us for the past few seasons. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, but a lot of the guys want to contend for that, and thank you for having that high standard. And yeah, once again, congratulations for being on the show, and for winning the Premier League, guys. Well done.
Yeah,
Thanks, Bruno.
I'll bet
Thank you.
I'll put Bruno's car on it that you win the African Champions League and the league.
Yeah.
I don't even know what car I've had.
All best.
Thanks for joining us. Shot.
All right,
Thanks, James.
Thanks for having us.
Ciao.
All the best.
See you later.
All right.
Cool.